Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. I want to speak about how to attain total freedom for your own life, how to attain full freedom for your life as a young man. And I want to speak about this topic because it's very important, because many ask, is there a complete freedom in life? Yes, there is a complete freedom in life, but there are things that entangle us in this life that makes us think that there's no full freedom or complete freedom. And I've always said to young men that if you want to attain what we call complete freedom, the first start is to accept Jesus as a personal savior. Accept Jesus as a personal savior. And after accepting Jesus as a personal savior, you have therefore entered a platform that will help you to attain what we call a complete freedom. Then after attaining the entrance into the complete freedom, there are some few things as well that you need to continue doing in your life. And today I want to speak about one thing in life that you would do and that would actually help you to attain full freedom in your life. And that is make peace with your past so it won't disturb your present at all. Making peace with your past so that it might not interfere with your present. Now, I want to speak about making peace with your past today in a way that many of us, I know that we are held up by our past. The past has held us into hostage. And I've said this before, and I want to say it again, that if you realize that in our lives, 75% of our problems, things that we call problems, are actually things of the past or happenings of the past that we have encountered and we have been part of, and we still see those as problems. And we are held back because we cannot just unshackle ourselves out of that. Now, it becomes our past, but our past that's holding us back. Because some of our past, remember, came along with some fruits. For instance, as a young man, you might agree with me that you might have messed up in the past. And sometimes you have actually given birth to babies and children that at the moment now, they've actually put you into trouble, whereby you are in maintenance court every single day. And that is the past. But it's something that has held on to you because of the fruits that it came along with. But I want to emphasize the fact that the past remains the past, whether it came with the fruits or not. You need to have peace with the past. Because if you've messed up in the past as a young man, whereby you're having a lot of children around now that have launched you into maintenances and so on, that is something that you need to make peace with. Because if you don't make peace with that, there's nothing that is going to help you out of it, because it is something that you've dragged behind with you up until where you are. But there's nothing that will change it until you make peace with it. Because how to make peace with it that we're speaking about is that you must make sure that it doesn't interfere with your present. And as I said, it's 80% of those things, or 75% of those things that we look back to. They are things of the past, but we have made them our concern right now. And generally, you'll realize that only 20% of things that we call them problems, they are things of the future. And sometimes you look at them and say, this is a problem, but it's something that is in the future and you're worried about it. Things of the future that even when the future arrives, you may actually be free from that thing that you thought is a problem. Or even sometimes that very same future may not arrive. And that's the reason why I always urge you as a young man that make peace with your past. And therefore also don't fear your future as well. Because if you fear your future, you are going to actually confuse yourself and end up not being able to shape your life in a proper manner because you are panicking instead of shaping your future. Now, only about 5% of the issues that we call them real issues or problems are actually things of the present. And you'll realize that generally we don't give them attention because we are actually focusing on either things of the past or things of the future. But majority of the things that we focus on are things of the past that we are holding back to. There are some of us who have agreed that our past has actually named us. Our past has actually determined our destiny. Our past has actually named us in a way that we have agreed that we are our past. And I want to urge you as a young man that until you make peace with your past and come out of the mind of thinking that you are your past, you are going to find yourself in really deeper mud and crisis that you may not be able to come out of. And that's the reason why we're speaking about this topic, that there is what we call a complete freedom. There is what we call ultimate freedom. And that ultimate freedom can come to you when you decide to make peace with your own mind and or your own past, and don't allow your past to disturb your present. Now, I must emphasize the fact that this is a mental issue. And most of the time, we're having these issues that we drag along with, and they are mentally engaging us. It's actually a stronghold in our minds. To an extent that even when I teach about it right now, you may say, I hear you say, but it's not possible. The reason is because it has entrenched itself so much in your mind to an extent that you don't see freedom anymore. But I want to tell you as a young man that there's still hope in your life. As long as you can actually shed off this out of your mind and make sure that the past doesn't become an impediment of the future for you. Your past doesn't become a tainter of your presence right now, because some of you live without peace right now and therefore cannot think out of the box because you're so much stressed and overwhelmed with lack of peace, with turmoil inside your mind, to an extent that you cannot actually plan enough going forward. Now I want to urge you as a young man that the more you have peace in your mind, the more you can plan better your future and your current situation, and you can plan better your future as well as your present situation. You are able actually to live a better life when you are free from stress in your mind, when you have decided to have peace in your mind. But peace cannot be as long as you're still worried about your past, as long as you're still spending more time actually speculating about the past. How will my past be, and so on. But I want to urge you as a young man that remember that your past cannot determine your future. It doesn't necessarily do that way. But sometimes we always connect actually our past to our future, but it's not always that way. It's a determination and a decision along the way. The decision that you take along the way will determine whether your future totally destroys your present or your future as well, if your past has actually held you back like that. So please, make sure that your past doesn't actually determine your future. Make sure that your past doesn't disturb your current situation or your present right now. But you shut yourself off there and become a peaceful person in your mind to an extent that you know that I've made peace with my past, and therefore my past cannot disturb me now. There are times when your past may be dragged into your life by some people that you've associated with in the past. Friends, for instance, of the past. But I want to urge you now that if you disconnect yourself from the old friends, disconnect yourself from the old people that will remind you of your old life, disconnect yourself as a young man, that may help as well. Because our past sometimes is pulled back to our lives through our friends and old friends, the people that we used to hang around with. There are some of you as young men, you have got a very bad past. And your bad past has actually went along with you until now. And it is actually troubling you now that you cannot unshackle yourself from it. But I want to tell you now, to unshackle yourself from it, you need to be intentional on how you deal with your mind. You become intentional with how you deal with your thoughts. How do you file them? How do you then relate with the people that you used to relate with in the past? How do you then look for new friends and people that you can relate with better right now? And this is very important because the friendships that you build now are going to determine the success that you have going forward. And as a young man, please remember that there is what we call ultimate peace. That's what we call complete peace in your life. And that ultimate peace can be done when you don't actually hang on to the past, but you make peace with your past so that your past cannot actually interfere or disturb your present. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus Phokane. Thank you very much for listening to us and being part of this great topic. I hope you'll continue with us because I want to end back on part 2 tomorrow, and you're going to join us as we do so. But remember also to like our Facebook page, Young Men Empowerment Forum, our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane. Make sure that you click notification buttons on those, and make sure that you also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That may help you. We've got a lot of materials, of course, that we have posted on our YouTube channel, and I'm sure that will help you as you search on that. May the good Lord bless you. Allow me to check out right here your host, Micornus Phokane, once more, and cheers for now.